2024 was the year for data center stocks in Malaysia, but 2025 seems to hint at the opposite. So recently, Trump came up with a tier list for his countries that he wants to impose certain bans and things like that. Too busy to find stock ideas? Check out Fire Pro to shortcut your research time and effort by 90%. 10% off link in the comments and description. It's not just data center, but data center is a big part of it. So you can see here in the map, those in blue are friends of America. You know, these are countries where there will not be any major blocks. Canada, a lot of Western Europe, you know, Spain, the UK, Italy, and then you have Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Australia as well. And then you have tier 2, which is where Malaysia is, the one in yellow. These are the countries in yellow. These are 50-50, very gray area, question mark, not sure what the status is. And then the red one, which is a lot clearer, is a out and out ban. You know, no surprise. A lot of the BRIC nations are there, you know. Russia, China, Iran, Iraq, Syria, North Korea, obviously.
Yeah, previously we didn't really go through the specification of this proposed restriction, but now we know already because they have distributed some reports about it. So let's go through. Number one is the country by tier. Just like MJ already mentioned about tier 1, which is more towards the western side of countries. Then tier 2 is, I think, most of the Southeast Asian countries, the BRICS, and also more other countries. Tier 3 is the one, quote unquote, is the enemy of the US. So your China, Russia, and all of the list of countries are over here. Now you notice that there's a orange color over here. It's kind of like a major highlight to say that these few countries are working with China and Russia. So it is under a very, very...
Yeah, I mean, we are trade partners, right? Especially Malaysia, Singapore. China is one of our largest trade partners.
Yes. So they are very particular about these few countries over here. So, and Malaysia is one of them. That's why we are getting like scrutinized for now. Okay, so this is the specification. Number one is, what is tier 2, right? So tier 2 is basically they allow these countries to import certain amount of GPUs without counting against the above cap. So basically they do, initially we thought that we can like import a lot of AI chips, like with any amount also can. But right now there is some sort of cap already. So you can see that this is some sort of the numbers that they put it out lah. Basically up to 50,000 of GPUs from 2025 to 2037. And then they also have to register under this thing called the Validated End Users, or VEU. So what is VEU? It's going to be here. So VEU, there's two types. One is the universal. The other one is the national. So universal, it's more of companies that have a HQ in the tier 1 country. So this one is very, very obviously you have your Google, your Amazon, and then your Oracle and your Microsoft. So basically what you need to know is that not more than 7% of the total control compute within a single tier 2 country. So what it means is that they cannot export every single GPUs that they bought and then they put it into the tier 2 countries. They cannot do that. They only can put like not more than 7%. So yeah, if you want to know, you have to depend on how, you need to see what are these each of these companies, how many GPUs do they own, and how much do they need the tier 2 countries to actually use these GPUs to operate the data center over there. And then what about national and VEUs? This one is more on the tier 2 country itself. Basically, National AI Champions headquartered in tier 2. So in Malaysia's case, there is YTL and also NationGate. And they are looking to build like their own AI cluster in the home countries. So if you want to know what's the specification, is all over here already, like how many can they like...
So the key thing here is, I think, that NVEU, right? Which is specific for orange countries.
Correct. And what is the key thing now is that they have to disclose, assuming if let's say they buy the GPUs from the US side, they need to tell where is this GPU going to go out from. So they have to know which country, what the name of the customer.
So basically what the US is saying to us is that they know that there's this China plus one thing going on.
Yeah.
Right, where China will basically set up a company here or work with a company here where we are the middleman, we take their goods and then we sell it to the US or whatever.
This one is just to like prevent smuggling or illegal trade.
Yeah.
So the key risk also, the second key risk is basically there will be more of a bureaucracy because you have to go through like multiple government agencies. You need to get through their approval. And then there is like a 19 separate certification and also policy requirement, which is a very headache. So everything is going to delay to that extent. Okay, so the details over here you can see for each the national limits, the VEU, the national validated end users, exemption for entities. So this one is very special. If let's say you are in the tier 2 countries and you want to buy like up to 1,700 GPUs, this one they allow. You don't need to have any license. I think they just need you to report certain things only, like what is it going to be used for and which country you're going to be selling it to. But this one, if you are comparing with other like status like the NVEU, you are buying a huge chunk of GPUs like 320,000 as compared to 1,700. So yeah, this one they are more particular on the big bulk purchases to put it at that perspective. And then one more thing that is unclear is right now Trump is coming into office already. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4 is Biden's administration. So don't know whether Trump will add more.
So one thing we know about Trump is what he says in the campaign and what he actually does is not always the same thing. I always like to give this example. 2016, he wanted to put Hillary Clinton in jail. He didn't do that. And it was a very public declaration, right? Everyone knew that was a... So literally less than a day ago as of this recording, remember how TikTok was blamed and he says that we're going to shut down TikTok? Guess what? Trump has literally just reversed that in a speech. So, things can change and let's see. I think there will be changes.
Okay, so these are BEF already for you guys so that you know that what category are there. So the Nation Gate and YTR Power, this one is more on the national VEU. So they need to apply for this one in order to import that certain amount of AI servers.
And of course, they're only at about 50,000. So when you say servers, meaning GPUs?
So there is like...
20,000, okay.
8 GPUs need to be inside one AI server.
I see. So that means, so if we go back here, number 3, there is a cap, right, of 20,000. Is that right?
Yeah. So over for 2 years, right? So you divided by 8, so it's about like 20,000 AI servers. Over here. Yeah.
So this is 20,000 AI servers per year. But then what YTL Power wants to do is, let's say 50,000 AI servers, and because of this, they have to get like an approval.
Correct. So they cannot one straight import 50,000. They may need to break it down into a few years. And this one is assuming they got that license, which is the NEVEU. So if they never get the NEVEU, then they
and
cannot.
In Nation Gate's case, not really an issue because it's a lot smaller.
Yes.
10 times smaller. Yeah.
Okay, so potential risks that we have over here. This one is by semi-analysis. You can see that this is basically the Malaysia's data center and who are the MNCs that is inside our country, and they are trying to operate their own data center. So no doubt we have the Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and YTL. But the least capacity here, this one is quite interesting over here because if you notice over here, there is a tier 3 company, or at least a company that is located in a tier 3 country, which is ByteDance. And we also found that potentially there is also some smuggling. Not to say smuggling, but then they are trying to get those AI chips and they are selling it to ByteDance. Not only from Malaysia, probably also some say that it's actually Microsoft and Oracle is the one that is selling it to ByteDance. So it's actually a potential risk over here that this is going to be reduced because of this new restriction. And then another one is GDS. GDS also is another Chinese company that is launched. I mean, they just set up their base inside Johor and they want to do like these data center campus. So how they are going to get all these high-end GPUs, right? It's definitely from someone. They cannot really buy it from the US because obviously it is restricted. So somehow they are getting it from Malaysia or they're getting it from the MNC that is set up in the tier 2 countries themselves. So this one was going to be impacted because initially they were gung-ho, they're going to set up a lot of data centers, but right now they may want to reduce. So potentially the growth in terms of data center will be capped. So that's why you can see there's a sell down in the stocks related to data center. And then another one, which is C. This one is Singapore. They also want to set up a huge data center park in Johor. This one also is another place that is in Johor, interestingly. But anyway, CE also, which is related to Singapore. Singapore also, they have a trade partner with China.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, C Limited is the guys who own Shopee.
yes, correct. So that's why potentially, there's also the reason why Singapore is under the tier 2 country list. Now, last but not least, we have this Johor. And this is according to JP Morgan's research. They believe that about 2/3 of the 4 gigawatt DC capacity will be impacted by the US AI chip control framework. So 2/3 is actually a very, very big number. So what that means is that companies may start to like put on hold in terms of their expansion, or maybe even some MNCs that wants to come into Malaysia and set up their data center, they may start to think twice already. So
but it's very interesting. The chart on the right. Of course, right now, live IT power, Singapore is number 1. But if everything goes through, we would be the largest.
Yes, correct. So this one is basically the TAM for NationGate, because NationGate also, they are not only serving in Malaysia, they also are exporting those AI servers to ASEAN countries. But then we'll go into NationGate later, because there's some interesting information that just shared inside our research group. But anyway, this is some stocks that is related in the DC supply chain. If you look at the names like Gamuda or Sunway Construction, and then you see the current share price, you know that something is wrong over there because of the this kind of restriction. And then not only that, you also can pay attention to other names as well. That's inside there. We won't go through every single companies, but potentially it could be a double-edged sword. It could be like a risk, or it could be an opportunity, assuming that the restrictions start to be more lenient. Okay, so exposure to AI, the 2 main companies over here, which is Gamuda and also Sunway Construction. Sunway Construction, there has a lot of data center exposure. You can see like about 54% of their order book is related to data center. So that's why you notice the share price tank also is a lot. It's the most actually among the construction companies. Then Gamuda is just 7% only, but still they're also getting hit a lot. So IGM, I think this one is still fine. It's only very tiny only, and which is also why JP Morgan thinks that IGM is they think there's an undervalued construction stock. Okay, so just now we talked about the free fall. Everything related to data center, it is on the free fall, and you can see the chart pattern also is about the same.
Yeah, I think the top is like 25-30%.
Yeah,
at least, right?
Yeah. Okay, so final thoughts over here, which is the impact on AMD and NVIDIA. What this means is that potentially their upcoming quarterly report may not be so good for NVIDIA and AMD. So what does that mean for S&P 500, right? Because it's so, they put a lot of weightage on NVIDIA. So that's why potentially in the future, S&P 500 may go through some sort of correction.
Assuming Trump don't do any reversals or change things up.
Yep. So what this means is that basically maybe the whole market will be start to spook about this, and then maybe they'll go through some correction. But right now, Malaysia already is going through a major correction already.
Johor, most to lose.
Yeah, so because Johor is a place where DC is where they set up the most, right? So this kind of restriction definitely will impact Johor's progress, and then they will maybe get lesser contract as a result. Now, the third one, which is YTR and NationGate.
Will they get the license that they want, or that they should get, you can say?
Yes, correct. So I think this one is very important because you need to know what is their revenue by geographical coverage. So for NationGate one, I believe that is a 50% or something like that that is going to Singapore. Then if you dig further a little bit, this Singapore company, but this is just rumor, might be like exporting these AI servers to Chinese companies. So there is a potential risk on that also, which we just like discussed about this today only. So I think this one, you need to pay attention. You need to see whether, definitely it's a very interesting company because they are the only tech company that is related to the AI server. They are the one distributing, the only EMS that is doing this service. So it's an interesting business model, but then the clientele that they are serving is that's a problem. So unless the valuation is attractive, then maybe there will be another story. Now, final one, which is Trump's policy. MJ, just now you mentioned about it already.
Yeah, question mark. But expect changes, or at least assume changes. That's what I think.
But hopefully, this bottom would present some opportunity in the market, because it's been a while since we had a major correction in the stock market, and finally it is showing signs already. But we will still be cautious, because there is also some data that is showing that potentially 2025 is going to be a volatile year. We won't be talking over here, but we will be sharing it in our upcoming big webinar. Haven't set up yet, but I think the next video we will start to open for registration for the webinar. So look forward to that. Now, this is the Fire Pros December
You gotta know
update.
how to prepare yourself with companies that can be resilient during a difficult time. Do hop on to Fire Pro. What's inside it? Well, we have portfolios for you as a reference point to learn about how to construct a resilient portfolio. Number two, we have write-ups about the companies in the portfolio to educate you on why we think they could be resilient and protect your money. And number three, we have a community for you to ask further questions, clear some of the confusions that you have about stocks, without you having to go and Google and spend hours and hours trying to figure out very complicated subjects. These reports or write-ups less than 15 minutes long, and pretty short and sweet.
Yeah, so if you want to get a taste, you want to see how we do our write-ups, how we analyze companies, risk management, all of those good stuff. It is totally free. You can check it out in the links will be in the description and comments. Fire free sample. So that's about it. We'll see you in the next video.